Road Wars follows an elite unit from the Thames Valley Police.
And out the door.
Oh my goodness!
Using unmarked high-performance cars, the two-man crews of the proactive team are the front line in the war against crime.
Get on the floor! Get on the floor! Bring your arm now!
We also meet the Thames Valley dog handler tracking down boozy motorists.
At the moment, I'm arresting for Section 4 of the Road Traffic Act.
Anything can happen policing the streets, and in Road Wars, the unexpected is always just around the corner. A shocking £10 billion worth of heroin is pushed in Britain every year. It's a huge criminal industry. In Milton Keynes, police have launched a special operation targeting drug dealers and notorious offenders. Simon Hills and Chris Pigg at Tango Victor 3-1 are part of the crackdown.
He's whizzing his little Picanto, mate. He was right up my side there. Right up.
They've had a call that across town, Tango Victor 3-4, Ian Hewitson and Mark Thornley are hot on the heels of a dodgy car and urgently need help.
Right, where we going, mate? Left, left, left.
Still low speed, still failing to stop. Going across Fishmead Boulevard. Going past the Samaritans building.
Yeah.
Listening to the updates on the radio, Chris and Simon hurry to join their colleagues.
Left off Pencarrow Place onto, I believe, Gurnard Avenue.
Right, he's coming up towards us here. There he is.
Up ahead, Mark and Huey are still pursuing the runaway car, and Chris and Simon slot in right behind their colleagues.
Turn your flashing headlights off, mate, so it's not blinding them.
Still
Clear,
failing
clear,
to
clear,
stop.
clear, clear, clear.
Going
You're clear.
The getaway driver is giving the cops the runaround on the Warren of Roads on the Fishermead estate, so Simon and Chris decide to cut him off.
Right, 5055 miles an hour.
He's all the way down, he's all the way down.
Stand by for decamp.
Left, 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 mate.
4 blokes have abandoned the target car and are now legging it in different directions.
Towards the boulevard.
There he is. Yeah, got him.
145, we've got one running through an alleyway.
One of the blokes is running through an alleyway, so they drive to the next block to catch him.
Go straight down there. Right, he should pop out down the bottom here. Yeah, I agree.
125 will be.
There he is.
155 just coming off into Penryn Avenue.
Go round, down to the bottom. Where is he?
Going round the corner, there's no sign of the runner.
There he is. Hello.
After almost knocking down their colleagues, they again have to get round the next block to catch the lad.
Do a left, left, left.
Yeah, it's 4 decamped, one burst at the bottom.
With no sign, Simon gets out and searches on foot.
Oh, it's the back garden, he's in the back garden.
Right, stop here, mate. Stop.
I don't know who he is. 145, is there any idea where you are before I can come and liaise with the other?
The fleeing bloke spotted running into a garden.
Where is he?
145.
Got a view on him?
Oi, matey! We got a torch on you. We can see you. Come out.
Roger that, situate all unit.
Can you do a quick welcome to
Get on the floor! Get on the floor! Bring your arm now! Bring your arm out!
Simon searches the area.
It started off that Mark and Ian from 3-4 have picked up a vehicle that is known for drugs. We've had a pursuit with it. It's decamped and 4 males have got out of the vehicle. And we kept seeing this male run in and we kept trying to cut him off. And again, just at the point where we were stopping to try and cut him off, he's gone to ground in this garden. He's known to officers for drugs. And at this moment in time, he's been arrested on suspicion of theft of a motor vehicle because we can't ascertain whose car it is and whether he should be in lawful possession of it.
Most crimes are committed by a small group of serial offenders. In Nottingham, ground units are looking for a well-known youngster and have called in air support. The lad's just broken into a house and is now escaping in a stolen car.
88 overhead. Okay, take lights out. Continue straight on.
The chopper keeps track of the getaway car and pinpoints its position for the ground units.
Okay, next right. Go right. Okay, we've got an abandoned.
The youth jumps from his car and heads into gardens, but the airborne crew spots his attempts to hide.
Okay, officers on the ground. Keep coming. Pass the pot vehicle. Keep coming. Keep coming. Take the next left there. Left there, where you pointed. Keep going forward. He's there. Turn right there.
It's pitch black and the officer still can't see him. The bloke thinks he can escape behind a wheelie bin, but he's pulled from his bolt hole.
That's the driver. One arrested.
The cooperation between the ground and air units has paid off, and it's one more valve off the streets. In Middlesbrough, a lone police officer thinks there's something suspicious about the silver Astra in the traffic ahead.
Check please, not Ormsby Road.
Unfortunately, the driver also senses something's wrong and boots it.
903, that vehicle's through.
The cop's on his own, so he needs to call in more patrol cars and a chopper. But operating the radio while steering is not easy.
903, vehicle through. 903.
Heading over familiar ground, the guy spanks it across a playing field.
903.
He doesn't even slow for the playing children. He gives it legs, and the cop has finally got his hands free for a radio call.
903, take it off the vehicle, blue top, towards Crackmore Road.
But it's too late. Fast in the car and fast on foot, the bloke manages to escape and will have to be caught another time. In the US, the cops are chasing a rented truck which has just smashed into a car. Up ahead, troopers deploy a stinger, but the fleeing driver heads straight for the officers.
4205, 1050, just took out the vehicle is going across the median, stay on that one.
It turns out that the driver was only released from prison earlier in the day. Acting like this, he'll soon be back. Back in Milton Keynes, Charlie Etheridge and Chris Ruff, Tango Victor 3-2, are coming towards the end of a long shift and are getting peckish.
We're strategically positioned opposite the Chinese takeaway.
To have food?
Well, I'm just thinking at the end of the night, what they don't manage to sell, we might get some cheap deal or something, nothing. Not sure what you think. Maybe soup or something.
Maybe wash it down with something from the local.
Well, we could do, yeah.
Pack of Stella at 10.90.
So,
of course, we don't drink, not on duty. Should we go and do some patrolling of the area?
Go down to Charlie area.
Just as they start their final patrol, there's a call from another unit for backup.
We're in North 10th Street, we're in North Road, just to the rear of Sains. We've got an eyeball on them, they're trying to get into flats in North 10th Street at this time.
Yeah, thank you.
Their colleagues have spotted a car parking outside a block of flats. Its passengers were reported to be nicking beer from a shop earlier that evening. Sounds like Charlie and Ruffy aren't the only ones who are out for a bargain deal.
The vehicle was 5 up. Done a shoplifting about half an hour before. A couple of the individuals on board, they've recognised and they've checked them and they've got warnings for violence. So that's really why we're going quite quick.
Cross the roundabout, second exit.
Not knowing what they're going to face, several units, including Chris and Simon, have homed in on the address.
Yeah, policeman. Can you open the door? Police.
They need to get in the flat quickly before the suspects can dump their stash.
Quick as you can, please.
I wonder what number she was.
Try another one, try another one.
There you go.
Oh my goodness! Hi, I've just let these in. Seriously, you can check.
Right. Who's hiding in the wardrobe?
Follow me, come on.
What is going on?
And out the door.
Oh my.
Rounding up all the occupants, they question everyone separately to find out just what's been going on. With all the lads under control, Charlie starts searching the flat for the stolen beer.
What do they come in with, please, and where is it now?
Six beers. Six beers.
Is that all they come in with?
The girl claims the gang only had 6 bottles of lager on them, so Chris checks with the control room.
I just need to know exactly what was taken. Looking for foodstuffs, tobacco, Stella.
According to the control room, several crates of beer were stolen, and there's no sign of them in the flat. Simon detains the driver to search his car.
Anything you do so may be given in evidence, do you understand that?
No, I understand the word down, mate. Talking Muslim, mate.
Muslim? What's he talking about?
Just showing your age, haven't you?
A search of the car suggests Simon's hunch was right.
We've got some evidence.
It's more of a small bar than a car.
This chap's obviously got a penchant for Stella Artois.
The lads certainly have expensive tastes.
If you pay for it, it's reassuringly expensive.
High life, the low lifestyle. But the cheap night in is now turning into a long night out at the cop shop.
So far, we've detained 2 males that we believe were involved in the initial theft, and also we've recovered the property that we believe to have been stolen. We're just making inquiries now because obviously we'll be looking to bring some more people in as we get the evidence to suggest that they were involved.
3 men were arrested for nicking the beer. Everyone else in the flat was allowed to stay. Despite the recovery of the stolen property, the Crown Prosecution Service later decided there wasn't enough evidence, and the lads were all released without charge. It's 2:20 in the morning in Reading. Recently, the suburbs have been hit hard by burglars breaking into people's houses just to get their car keys. So elite crime fighters Rosie Vosser and Darren Staley have been assigned to patrol the area in their very own Batmobile.
It's because that's the symbol.
They need to put the big bat light up into the sky to call us.
Yeah, that's how we know to go.
Got the bat call.
Out of the Batcave and onto the foggy, mean streets.
Man, that is serious reduced visibility.
Low visibility, perfect conditions for a burglar. Rosie and Daz are warned about some suspicious activity in an estate close by.
There's a dark estate vehicle seen to pull up outside a house. And some people get out and then get back in again, which is a little bit suspicious.
This could be burglars on a stakeout, so the pair move in.
Oh, here we are, making off.
Claire Road, that's where we are.
Good move. The 2 men have just abandoned their car and are now legging it through gardens further down this road.
Right, so we need to get in containment. Let's just park up here somewhere and turn the engine off, shall we?
Being right on top of them, Rosie and Daz figure out a strategy to catch the suspects.
So that's where the decamp is there. So it's Pittsburgh Lane, Stonish Drive.
The plan is to block off all the exit roads from the area.
Yeah, 3-7, can we start trying to get local units to plot up and get containment on as wide as possible while the dog's tracking there?
Suddenly they spot a car entering the estate.
Taxi. Anyone there? No.
Wonder if he's going to pick him up.
Stop.
Tango Victor 37, we need the dog here straight away. Mail's going over gardens. Right, I'll get this up. Is that them there? Who are they? Is that them? Tango Victor 37 for the dog, man. They're running towards you into high view.
Wait, stop! Stop there now! Stop there now! Both of you, stop! Stay there, do not move! Do not move, come here! Get on the floor, come here! Get on the floor now! Get on the floor! Get on the floor! Put your hands behind your back! Now!
On the floor!
Get on the floor! Get on the floor now!
Got him?
Right, matey, you're under arrest on suspicion of burglary.
And your arrest is necessary to allow a prompt and effective investigation of the offence. All right.
That's fine. I haven't done nothing.
Both men are taken back to the back car and carefully searched.
He had that in his pocket, which is a homemade crack pipe. He's got a little wrap or something there. There's a penknife. He had a pair of gloves on him there.
Gloves and penknife are often the telltale equipment of a burglar.
And his mobile phone, which we'll seize to see if he made any calls after he decamped from the car.
With the suspects detained, the officers track along their escape route.
We're going to try and track back with a dog to see if there's been any property dumped along their way, and just to try and see if there's anything obviously been dumped which they didn't want us to see.
Nothing found on the track, but the dog takes them back to the abandoned car.
I think it's probably going to be a stolen car on false plates, because the plates come back to a BMW that's shown as in trade. And these plates have got screw marks, but they've clearly been stuck on, which is always a bit of a telltale sign. What the back one's like.
An update from the control room confirms it. The Volvo was stolen in a burglary in London.
Makes going to the gym all worthwhile, you see, being able to catch the villains.
Time to give the arrested men the good news.
I'm under arrest for...
You're under arrest on suspicion of burglary, stealing the car, drugs possession, and making off without payment from petrol station. OK?
It's a good bust. But with no direct evidence linking him to the theft of the Volvo, this bloke was later released without charge. The geezer nabbed by Daz later admitted thieving. It turned out he was also on parole for a previous burglary and is now back behind bars. A patrol car in readiness signalled this blue hatchback to pull over. But the driver suddenly burns off and dangerously overtakes on the wrong side of the road. He's now flooring it to nearly 100 miles an hour. And even the stopped traffic at the red lights won't hold him up. He moves onto the grass verge and jumps straight through the red light. Immediately he's through a second set, nearly taking out a family car. Squeezing through traffic, the driver's prepared to do anything to get away. Cutting up a lorry, he tries to lose the cops by going round a roundabout twice. Constantly overtaken on the inside, the manic driver is a danger to anyone on the road. But his next manoeuvre is even more ruthless.
Yeah, vehicle's gone the wrong way round the RA.
Having gone the wrong way over the roundabout, he's gained some valuable seconds and seems to have lost the cops. Up ahead, he's actually trying to hide in a line of traffic. It doesn't fool the officers. With his ears ringing from the smashed windscreen, he won't get away. The bloke was quickly arrested and later fined for his mad driving. It's 5 AM at this deserted bowling alley in Texas when a car quietly pulls up. It's probably the cleaners coming in early. If that's the cleaners, they've got a lot more to tidy up now. 3 Ram Raiders have just reversed an SUV straight through 2 glass doors, and now they're trying to grab an ATM machine just out of the camera's view. But the machine's bolted to the concrete floor, so the hoodlums leg it empty-handed. It's a good attempt, but no strike for these reversing Ram Raiders. At a service station in California, the cashier's about to get a rude wake-up call. It looks like a car's accidentally crashed into the shop window, but then the situation turns nasty. It's a ram raid. The attacker goes for the till, so the cashier fights back and beats him with a shop phone. And the bruised ram raider manages to make off with the till. Frustrated, the cashier throws the phone after him. Having smashed up the handset, the only thing the stunned cashier can do is call the police on his mobile. It's 6:45 a.m. in Slough. Pat's on his way to raid a criminal fixer who's been helping people get off speeding tickets.
Over the past 6 years, there's been over 200 false nominations made on driver keeper statements as a result of people activating speed cameras. So when the notice has gone out to the registered owner of the vehicle to nominate the driver, the person's been nominated at one of 4 addresses in Slough, and every form's been in the same handwriting. It would appear that, as far as our forms are concerned, he's charging up to £200 a time to complete them fraudulently.
7 a.m. outside the crook's home. Apart from the speeding ticket scam, he's suspected of credit card fraud, identity theft and people trafficking. To secure all the evidence, a specialist police search team has been called in. No need to get heavy. The suspect opens the door and is detained on the spot for fraud.
Anything you do say, maybe give me no links. If you have a seat down, I'll explain to you at custody.
Officially, the man has been unemployed and claiming a variety of benefits for 8 years. Pat takes a quick look around his house.
Not a bad little property, is it, look, for someone who's had no income since 1999. Look at it. This is the back room as opposed to the front room. Very, very nice fitted kitchen. Makes you sick. Absolutely sick. You can see yourself, I mean, if this is a lifestyle somebody can lead, having had no income since 1999, I'm going to start claiming benefit. I mean, you know, it's just indicative of him living well beyond his means. Obviously, we've got to find evidence within the house, which hopefully we will on search, but, you know, just beggars belief.
Apart from this plush home, the fraudster owns 3 other properties and rents them out. They're all raided by Pat's old colleagues from the Proactive Squad. Martin York, Jim Dixon and Chris round up the lodgers for an immigration agent to question.
Yep. You guys all live here. You've got passports.
Yeah.
Is everyone else?
I think so. I'm not.
Do you want to ask them?
Yeah. Passport?
Do you all have passports?
Okay.
No?
Uncertain about their IDs, Yorkie checks the details.
Explain to your friends that I need them to write down their name and their date of birth. You get them to do that for me? Thank you.
Back at the Crooks residence, Pat's interested in an outbuilding which may hold evidence from the speed camera scams.
See, I mean, this is where it's going to be, isn't it? This is going to be his office, this is going to be his little workshop where he carries out his fraud. And very, very interesting. Once they start searching, very interesting. You can see the names and addresses of people we think that he's probably filled out these speeding forms for, how much he's charged, and this one he charged £300 to do it. He's got the man's details and his date of birth, and then you can see he's been having a little practice down the side here at how he can sort of do the signatures, and it looks like he's got a bit of a run-in total.
Most of the bloke's customers seem to be local minicab drivers, desperate not to get banned from driving. With the evidence mounting, the bloke's taken to Slough Nick. No common criminal, the fraudster covered his various scams by using at least 10 faked identities.
Have you got a list of the A-listers at all?
Yeah.
No.
All the addresses have been secured and searched, and in the process of being searched, and we have found an awful lot of paperwork linking him to the addresses and the names that we suspected he was using. 3 people have been brought in as illegal immigrants from one of the addresses, and one had only entered the country yesterday.
$10.39 on him at this time. Got a county unit with me.
In Alabama, this boozed-up driver is trying to shake off the sheriffs by ploughing through residential gardens.
164, he's going around the house. Go ahead and get me some help. We can fix and get back out on the highway.
He's made it to the highway, but how long will he last with his dangerous driving? Not very long. After hitting the grass verge, the pickup spins across the road and clips the overtaken car. Incredibly, both driver and passenger survived. Breaking the law and trying to outrace police? Don't forget to fasten your seatbelt. Back in Milton Keynes, Chris and Simon continue with their crackdown on the local criminal community. Acting on a tip-off, they're on their way to raid a drug den.
We're just on our way to an address in Bletchley, Lincolnshire, driver some information. There's some drugs stored there, so we're going to execute. We are going to execute a warrant under Section 23 of the Misuse of Drugs Act together with 2 other proactive officers. Strike's about to be called. We're rolling into the address. Rolled in.
Shrek and Princess Fiona about to put the door in.
Keep those truckers rolling. Rawhide! I don't know what number it is.
No, nor do I. I'm following them.
They think the house may be empty.
Don't overtake the entry team. Do not overtake the entry team.
But they still have to approach the property with caution.
Please, stay where you are!
Weird.
They're in, only to find another locked door.
You have to do the honours, mate.
Please, open the door!
Not anymore. Police officers, stay where you are.
A quick search. No one's home, so they start the serious business of hunting for evidence. Simon is rummaging through the lounge and Chris is having a go at the kitchen.
It's for a musical accompaniment.
It's a massive pan. There's several different pills in there, actually.
Not exactly great results, but they need to be careful. The bloke could be back any moment.
Just be aware, we're looking for a blue Jag turning up, mate.
Right.
I think that's what he's driving at the moment.
Which I think I'll move just in case he does come home and get a bit handy. What weight is that? Do you some damage.
Simon finds some slightly harder drugs.
I would imagine if he is dealing in anything, he's probably dealing in the Viagras. And there's lots of them in here. So he's either a very lucky man and a very busy boy, or he's selling them.
Plenty of dodgy prescription stuff, but not what the team was hoping for.
Just going to do the fridge in here, because last time... Oh, here we go. So last premises we went to, found a bag of amphet in the fridge. Looks like there's one there.
Finally, Chris is at the jackpot.
And another one there, white powders.
A fridge full of amphetamine. The guy's obviously on the dealer's diet.
No, we've got a thing of chips, 2 things of orange juice, a couple of tins of mackerel and 2 bags of amphet. What more could the man about town want?
Maybe some more drugs. Simon has found a staggering amount of hash, a 9-bar and plenty of deal bags, all cut up and ready for the streets.
It's cannabis resin into various sizes.
There's drugs everywhere, even hidden amongst the oil paints and paintings of the house.
This was a tale of Simon Hills.
Some of us are trying to get on with the serious business of searching drug dens.
With the amphetamine selling for a minimum of £8 a gram, it looks like the cops have secured drugs with a street value of several £1,000s. 2 men living at the address were arrested several days later and interviewed over the haul.
No, just say no. No, just say no.
In Stokenchurch near High Wycombe, Tango Victor 3-1, Simon and Chris are on patrol. There have been reports of drug dealers operating in the area, but Simon and Chris see nothing dodgy yet.
What? What's it?
Except a West Ham flag.
The Mighty Hammers. They were my first football team.
Everything appears normal when suddenly a car speeds off.
He's off, mate.
Not, is he?
A BMW just drove past him. Realising that the cops, the driver has started to floor it.
Tango Victor 3-1, priority, please.
Zoom the video back.
3-4, we got a vehicle making off, boys, towards New Road. Listen up, 131. 3-1, a vehicle making off in Stokenchurch.
Zoom the video back.
Wait 1 for direction.
Surprisingly, the vehicle pulls over. The driver's given up.
Vehicle stopped, New Road.
Turn it off, turn it off. Right, what's all that about?
What?
What are you going flying off up there for?
I didn't.
What are you doing? Just take the seat back in there, my friend. Is this your car? Yeah. Okay, I don't know why you're going flying off there. Just step out of the car, my friend, put your hands on the roof, I'm going to search you. You got anything on you shouldn't have?
No.
So what are you driving like a maniac for?
I wasn't.
Well, you were. You clearly were, my friend. Yeah. We'll go through this side. Just come and have a seat in my vehicle, my friend.
While Chris checks the driver's details, Simon searches the car for anything which might explain the bloke's sudden rush of blood.
Right, have a pew in there.
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I can only think he's got no insurance and he's got no tax. And I can only assume that's why he's run. But I think it's such an old shed that he didn't get very far, and that's probably why he's given it up when he's got round the corner here. But there was no two ways about it, he was definitely going for it.
Only a short sprint, but it's still going to cost the driver a lot.
The fact that you're driving this with no insurance on the road, it's a £200 fixed penalty and 6 points on your licence.
Right.
Do you understand that, yeah? £60 fine also for not having a...
tax.
Yeah, and we're also going to seize your car until such time as you've got some insurance for it. Do you understand that?
So where's it going to go
I'll
to?
explain all that to you in a minute. We'll sort this out first.
Thank you.
Altogether, 365 quid in costs, 6 points on the licence, and his car impounded until he's got it insured. But it could have been a lot worse.
It's all right. Technically, you've been under arrest for us for failing to stop for police. That is an arrestable offence. We can take you to the police station. We could send you to court for that as well. We'll deal with you by way of a fixed penalty notice. So as soon as we've written that out, you can collect your belongings from the car and you're free to go. All right.
40% of all seized cars are crushed, proving that the new seizure powers of the police are making our roads safer.
Have you left the key in it, yeah? It's all right, he's got it, yeah, he's found it, yeah, no worries. It's time to come out, turn around and have a look at him, and with that he's just bolted, driven off at high speed. Eventually he's given up. I mean, he hasn't got that far, but the trouble is, you know, there's loads of kids about over here. You know, he could have knocked one of them over. As it stands, he's lost his car. For that moment of stupidity, it's cost him at least 350 quid. So, you know, tough lines really. I've got no sympathy for the
A couple of days later, the bloke picked up the car in the company of a properly insured driver. Not all drivers give up in a pursuit. Most try desperately to outrace the cops. The Cleveland Air Support helicopter has been called out to a dangerous pursuit near Stockton-on-Tees. 3 burglars are trying to escape in a Mitsubishi 4x4.
Ingleby way towards the Warwick Way roundabout.
Finally, the chopper catches up with the pursuit. The men are now on an A road and are heading out of the county.
88 Sierra, on the Spine Road, westbound towards A19.
The cops don't want this to become a pursuit across several counties, and they're now planning to use the T-Pack tactic.
The units, do you want to try T-Pack now? We'll go on the side.
Several patrol cars will now try to box in the Mitsubishi and bring it to a halt.
We have a car in front and one behind.
But the crooks push through the gap before the cops can close the box.
He's got out, he's westbound A19.
They're desperate to get away. If they get caught, prison's a certainty.
Of the 300-yard marker to the low lane turn-off.
The cops try to box the driver in, but again he breaks free.
Him close to the centre, more man.
2 miles up, it's time for another attempt.
Yes. This vehicle is struggling with the handling due to his tyre on the rear, offside. Slow.
Past the...
Slow.
Turn off.
Slow. We have a collision, LZ.
In a final bid to escape, the bloke loses control. Rolling down the hill, the Mitsubishi catches fire.
All the occupants from the vehicle are accounted for, but the vehicle is now on fire.
The men escape from the car without injury, but can't run from the law. All 3 were later jailed. Some rogue drivers are not only a danger to innocent road users, but an even bigger danger to themselves. In Florida, a bloke's trying to escape in his pickup truck from the cops after starting a fight in a bar. Several cops try to box him in, but the driver susses their plan and breaks away. Up ahead, officers are ready to puncture the pickup tyres with a stinger. No luck. By pushing hard to the right, the driver has managed to avoid the spikes and escaped again. Desperate to shake off the cops, the bloke goes for stock car racing tactics. But after his manic manoeuvre, the pressure's getting too much. Club kicking out time in Maidenhead, and the streets are busy with revellers travelling home. Yeston Llewellyn, one of the 3 dog handlers in the area, is on his way to a crashed car.
Yes, confirm what number, over.
If the driver's legged it from the scene of an accident, it'll be Yeston's job to hunt him down with the help of his German Shepherd, Boris.
What we've got is reports of a car having crashed into a wall in Maidenhead. Been challenged by the blokes whose wall it is, and he thinks he smells of alcohol. We're not too far away now, we should get there shortly.
Just 10 minutes up the road, it's clear the driver didn't just crash into the wall, he completely flattened it. Yeston notices a forlorn figure on the other side of the road who matches the description of the driver.
Hello, boss. How much you had to drink, fella?
Nothing much.
Nothing much. How much is that?
About 4 drinks.
About 4 drinks.
Yeah.
With parking like that, it's more like 4 barrels than just 4 drinks.
Where are the keys, boss?
Keys for what?
For your car. Brilliant, thank you. You can just turn around for me, chap. At the moment, I'm arresting you for Section 4 of the Road Traffic Act. Driving whilst unfit through drink or drugs, mate.
Handing over the keys, he's just admitted to driving the Beamer. So Yeston nicks him on the spot. But what happened?
I came down here. Mate, he stuck his He nearly skipped to the stop street, yeah?
Mm.
Hey. And I had to just swerve. If I didn't swerve, I would have hit him.
It's lucky, boss, that you haven't killed anybody, though, to be fair.
I know. Yes,
I understand that, boss. I understand that, boss. So
I swerved. I hit that wallway. And it's all my fault. It's me.
Did the person stop?
No, he didn't. Off he went, yeah? By the time
I think he's been drinking as well? You don't? No.
How do I know? Yeah. And I wasn't going fast at all. Because I knew I've had a few, yeah. And you can record me now.
But he's not out of the woods yet.
Is that your phone ringing?
Yeah, it is.
Hello, it's PC Llewellyn. How are you? Your husband has just been arrested at the moment for drink driving. Do you want to speak? I'll hold it by his ear. Hold on a minute.
Hello, Angel. I can't hear a thing.
Hold on, boss. There we go.
Hello? No, don't worry. Just leave.
If she's driving, mate, if she's been drinking,
I know.
then...
I'll let you know what's happening as soon as I can, yeah? Yeah, alright then, bye.
Now in big trouble with his wife, he reckons he could have got away with it.
I could have run away.
You could have run away, boss.
Halfway up the road.
You wouldn't, mate, because I've got a dog.
No.
I've got a dog and I'd have caught you.
Yeah, hang on a second.
There we go, mate.
You were a good half an hour.
Half an hour? Rubbish. 10 minutes, that was.
No, it wasn't.
I tell you, I'd have caught you, Pete. I'd put my house on it. I'd have put my house on it.
Yeah.
But there's no escaping now.
Come on, chap, we're going to put you in the back of this car and they're going to take you down to custody, mate, OK? I'll just hold on to your arm, mate, so you don't fall, all right?
It's a night in the cells to sleep it off and face the charges in the morning. But while waiting for the recovery truck, there's one more surprise for Yeston.
Hello there.
Where is he?
He's been taken to the police station. He's under arrest.
Don't take my picture, you...
Right, that's your first warning.
Do not take my...
That's your first warning.
Privacy, yeah?
No, it's your first warning,
I'm
Section
worried
5.
about him.
He's been arrested.
I'm worried about him.
He's been arrested, he's fine, he's crashed into the wall, he's fine.
I'll go and see him then.
You won't be able to see it, my love. That is obviously a rather irate wife of the chap who's totaled his nice BMW. His wife has obviously come down to see that he's alright and give him a lift home in a taxi or what have you. And he's slightly concerned about his welfare. He's now going to go and see if there's a room for two in Maidenhead custody, I think. She'll be sorely disappointed when there isn't.